Alright, part 4. Time to put this puppy to rest. We joined back up with our party on the maintenance train they managed to seize, picking up speed and heading towards the space elevator. While the train was small, it had a few rooms and storage spaces in the front car, and Solomon reasoned they wouldn't truly be safe until they did a full sweep.
No section's clear. By the way, is Cassius up there with you?
No? Why?
Oh God, my face!
Oh no, Cassius is dead.
God, it burnt off my hair!
Huh. This thing had better not be broken. And with that spot of friendly fire out of the way, the party was down one set of luscious locks and up one safe mode of transit. With the train zipping along and its destination programmed in, the party settled in for rest. By now, the plague had given Rat a mild fever, and Solomon was beginning to cough up blood in his sleep. But they weren't the only ones having trouble sleeping.
Behold, for I am the rage and ruin that runs in the blood of warriors, the ruination of foes, the bringer of vengeance, and the bearer of hate. I am known by many names, but you may call me Fury.
Huh. Neat.
You are taking this surprisingly well.
What? No, it's fine. You're Fury. Literally every priest I know is full of righteous fury. You are righteous, right?
Sure. Want this magic flaming hammer?
Do I? When our party awakened from the rest, Rat had mostly recovered, Solomon could just barely activate his gun arm and couldn't sprint without taking damage, and Novus found a shiny new hammer that could burst into flames. After exchanging some suspicious glares, the party found that their train was rapidly on approach to the grounds of the space elevator, and they did not like the looks of the situation. The elevator station had been surrounded by a virtual sea of servitors and death machines. There was a small planetary guard force holding the line, but they were in no position to come to help. So the party did the only logical thing. Set the train for ramming speed and plow their way through an entire horde of angry cyborg zombies.
What?
They're doing what? I've done dumber things. The party braced for impact and slammed into the army of servitors, praying that their vehicle would have enough momentum to carry them through before breaking down or getting torn apart. Meanwhile, the guard commander moved their own defenses off the tracks while laying down heavy fire to try and make room for the train. In a tidal wave of gore, the battered train plowed through the servitors and past the planetary guard, safely-ish delivering our party to their destination and saving the planet. A few days, some showers, and plenty of anti-plague booster shots later, our party were feeling pretty good about themselves. That is, until their Inquisitor called them into their chambers for one last meeting.
So you've all proven yourselves extremely capable thus far. Not only have you saved dozens of Imperial Knights and Titans from falling into enemy hands, protected some of the most important nobles in the sector, but you also saved a high-value Forge World from an apocalyptic scenario.
Yay!
Yay.
For this, I'm going to reward you all with a big pile of money, gear, and I'm even going to ignore that obviously chaos-tainted weapon Novus is carrying.
Yay!
Wait, chaos-tainted?
And since you're all so very skilled, I'm sending you all back planetside on a kill mission.
What?
Yep, job still wasn't quite done. You remember the creepy servo skull from episode 2? Well, the party Inquisitor sure did. In fact, while the party was doing their job, he was having other inquisitorial cells sneaking around the planet gathering intel and tech. One of his spy teams had discovered this whole scenario was orchestrated by that servo skull, which was a renegade tech demon that fell to heresy. And all this madness and destruction was a ploy to get the Dark God's attention so it could ditch its bone and computer body and ascend to true demonhood. Normally, the Inquisitor would have the team that discovered this kind of threat take action and dispose of it, but they had died in the sudden Undead Uprising, so it was up to our party to handle the situation. Arriving via drop pod, our party crashed down into a now-abandoned population center a few kilometers away from their target. They pulled themselves to the pod and made their way out of the building, finding a nearby subway tunnel that, according to their scanners, should take them straight to their destination. Our party made their way into the subway tunnels, cautiously moving along with what little light their weapons and a single glow globe could provide them. That's when they heard it. The sound of distant giggling and gibbering noises accompanied by clawed feet, burbling and vile, throaty noises echoing off the walls from the tunnel. Then they caught wind of the smell, a horrid, sweet stink of rotten flesh mingled with human waste. Then, rushing for the darkness came its source, a horde of nurglings, horrible, wretched demons born from the entrails of the chaos god of decay himself. They swarmed and charged our party, who recoiled with absolute terror. And they didn't do anything. Well, that's not entirely accurate. They were clawing, biting, and vomiting at the party as hard as they could. It's just no matter what they did, they couldn't actually hurt the party. After a few rounds of absolute panic and screaming, the party had slain the swarm of basically harmless demons and found themselves in front of a huge underground chamber. It was a fortified maintenance bunker for Mechanicus war robots. It was built into a huge cavernous opening with its walls covered in dormant killing machines. At the other end was their target, the rogue server skull being tended to by a dozen or so cultists with a captured demon and arcs of eldritch energy chained behind it. While the party couldn't quite understand what was going on, they had a sinking feeling that the skull and his henchmen were draining the power from the imprisoned demon to fuel its transformation. Stepping up to the large checkered floor of the facility, our party girded themselves for the fate of the planet and their own lives. Then I pointed out that they were on a giant chessboard. Turns out there was an open command console down there, and if one of them was good enough with tech, they could turn on a number of the dormant robots to help them fight. And as chance would have it, the rogue servo skull was plugged into a matching console on the other side of the room. That's right. The final set piece of this entire adventure was a giant game of human chess. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just call me a hack and leave then too. What followed was a pitched battle. Cassius took command of the death machines and the rest of the party charged across the board in an attempt to reach and kill the rogue servo skull. The robots crashed into each other with lethal force. Novus was nearly killed when he took a las cannon shot to the chest. Rat used the robots recover while rushing to help their teammates wherever she could. Solomon gunned down anything that came near Cassius, and Yarny became a one-woman firing line. Eventually, after a long and drawn-out deadly encounter, our party came out on top, with a dozen or so demolished death robots scattered around the battlefield. The rogue skull and its cultists were dead, its body having been half transformed into a horrible abomination before the party gunned it down. Our party took one last ragged breath of relief, radioed in their report, and had finally completed their mission. They had saved the planet, eliminated the cult, and killed the creature responsible for all this madness, and finally earned some much-needed rest. And that was the story about the time I traumatized my friends with trains. Sure, I used more than just trains, and I actually left a few things out for the sake of the story, but that's a good 90% of how it all went down. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you another time with another tale. This time I think a little less grimdark and a lot more fantasy.